Hi everybody. Well, I have had so many requests for this program I use to score tournaments that I thought I'd just make a short video on how to operate it. I've even made some recent changes that I think it's even easier to use. So I'm going to take a few minutes and just run you through this. And then when you get this video, it'll also include a template Excel file that you can just keep using over and over and over. So first of all, so once you open this template, the first thing you're going to want to do is do a save as, so that you can always return to the template. So I'm going to pretend that I'm going to have a tournament here. I'm going to rename this Liberty North and save that. You can see that changes the name, and now your template's safe, and you can just do the same thing again next time to start the process. So first of all, notice down here we have two tabs. We have a raw scores tab and a tournament results tab. The raw scores section is where you will enter all of your information. Okay. Over on the tournaments results page, that will populate over to there from the raw scores page. And so you don't ever want to write or to enter anything on this page except in this place column, which I'll talk about at the end. If you were to ever accidentally start entering something, so say for example, you went over here to your player. If you notice when I click on that, you see a formula up here. So if you were ever to just accidentally start entering your players, so I accidentally start entering, oh, whoops, I'm on the wrong page here. If you just undo up here, use that undo button, notice that it throws the formula right back in, and then you haven't screwed everything up. And even if you did 6 or 7 people here and accidentally put those in, you could just keep hitting undo until you're back to where you were, and then you'll be safe. Okay. And if you ever do accidentally click on this like this, I'm clicking on the form. Just hit enter, and then it'll go off of that page. Okay. So don't enter anything on this page. Everything will be over here. Okay. So first things first, when you open this up, I've put some boxes over here. If you want to enter the tournament name in here, this will be the Liberty North invite. Enter the course name on there, enter your date in there, and then notice that if you go back over here, that will pull that information into here, and then you'll have the title of your tournament or the name of your tournament. You'll have the courses being played at the par and the date, which is good information for newspapers and everybody else that you send it to. Okay. So then, and you could do a lot of this stuff even before the day of the tournament and get everything set up. So you have your list of schools that are coming. Notice here you have 4 columns. You have the school initials, the players, the scores column, and the school name column. That's where you're going to be entering information. So first of all, let's just start. So let's say Blue Springs is coming to your tournament. So I'm going to put the school initials in there. You'll have, assuming you have 5 players, put the first one in there. If you hover over this and you can see where your little cursor turns black, you pull that down. That will put Blue Springs in every column there. Let's say Blue Springs South is also coming. Put Blue Springs South. Go ahead, pull that down. That'll populate those. Let's say Belton's coming. Put that in there. Populate those. You'll be good to go. Let's say a 4th team's coming. Let's say Liberty's coming, and they don't have 5 players. You can go ahead and populate all of those. And then when you enter the players, let's say he only brings 2 players. That's not going to be a problem. Just leave those 3 empty, and then we'll put scores of like 999 in for those players. And then that'll figure a team score for them, but it'll sort to the bottom at the end. It'll just look kind of wacky, but that's no big deal. Okay. So again, assuming that you had 15 or 20 teams coming, go ahead and put all the symbols in. You obviously won't have the player's name yet or the scores, but you will have school names. So let's go ahead and start putting those in. Blue Springs South, Belton, Liberty, and again, just continue that process until all of those are entered. Okay. Okay. So then if you go over here to the tournament results page, notice that's starting to populate all those cells here. You've got your teams entering here, and all that information will be good to go. Okay. So I'm trying to think for a minute, just make sure I've thought about everything there. So if you don't have as many players, that would be the issue there. That would be fine. Okay. So let's now assume that you've got everything in. I'm going to open up a file that I just did the other day, Park Hill Invitational. This is what it looks like. So going back to the raw scores page, you can see I've got all the schools entered. I went ahead and entered, the school initials. I went ahead and entered the actual team names. I've got all the players in, and then they've come in, and so I've entered all the scores. When those scores you enter 5 scores here, it's going to throw out the highest score. So for example, for Blue Springs, they shot a 354. The 100 doesn't get figured in. If I take that out, it doesn't change anything over here. And that's what I'm saying. You could have a 5th player with nothing there except maybe 999. It's not going to affect the team score because they're going to throw that largest score out. Now, if you were missing 2 players and you entered 999 on both, now it is going to pull one of those in, and they shot a 1254. But then again, that'll sort to the bottom when you do that on the other page. So no worries there. So I'm going to undo that. Go back to here. So I've got everything in. So really at this point in time, you're ready to do the sorting over here and just score your tournament, sort it, and be done. So going over to this page. So once all the data's in, you can again see that they've pulled all the scores and all the names over here. Now, we only had 17 teams in this tournament, so you can see I've got some leftovers down here, okay, and I've also got some extra teams. So first of all, let's clean that up before we sort it. So I'm going to go down here to the players where I've got where it stopped, and I'm going to, and I'm going to highlight all of those players, okay, down to the last one. Try to leave that last little black line in there, and then I'm just going to right-click and delete. And boom, those are gone. Okay. Now with the schools up here, I'm going to do this a little differently. I'm going to highlight these 2 cells, and I'm going to use that same drag feature that I used on the other ones. Get my little black arrow right here, and I'm going to drag that up to the schools that aren't there, and now that's gotten rid of those. So you can see now it's a little cleaner copy. Now we're ready to sort. So to sort these, I'm going to highlight just the school, player, and score columns. Don't highlight the place because we don't want that to sort with it. And I'm going to double click. I'm going to click that and turn that on. Sometimes you got to double click it if it was already on over here. I'm going to click that, turn it on, and then I want to go over here and I'm going to sort by score. So I want to click my score column, and I'm going to hit ascending, and then boom, you can just see that just sorts by the scores. Okay. So you've got your 1 through 15. Now, if you want to make this look a little cleaner, you don't have to. You could just delete these places out. But if you want the places to show like 1 through 15, you can do that. Now we've got some ties here. Down here we've got 179. That's kind of an outlier. Well, it's not an outlier, but it's just an extra number. So if you only had 15 medals and you wanted to do a scorecard playoff, let's say that you do a scorecard playoff. Graybill loses the scorecard playoff. Roberts wins it. One thing you could do is just take that 15 and move it down here. Again, I said don't ever type in any of these columns over here except place. That's okay if you do that. There's no formulas in there. So I moved the 15 down to here. Now I'm going to go ahead and include place in the sorting here. So I'm going to undo that and turn it back on. And now if I sort by place, you can see that it'll bump Roberts up and move Graybill down, and you've got your 15th place. And then if you want to go in here and put like these are all ties for third, so you could put T3, T3, so on and so forth, put those in there. You could do your ties for 8th here, you could do your ties for 10th, and that's whatever you want to do, or you can just leave them in there. That's not that big of a deal. Okay, so all your individuals are sorted now. You're good to go there. So the other thing is then you want to go over here and highlight team and score. We're going to sort those. Do that in ascending order, sort it by that score column, and now you've got all your teams sorted. Okay, pretty simple, pretty easy. Once you get down to the end, as soon as those scores come in, you get them all entered, and you can just sort it and be done really quickly. Now the last thing I do is I don't like to send out the raw Excel file, I think, to the newspapers, and if you're going to post it on a website or do something like that, it's a lot cleaner if you go up here and do this, save this as a PDF. So I'm going to make sure I'm on this page. I want to be on this sheet, the actual results page, and I'm going to do a file save as, and I'm going to save this as a PDF. So when you do PDF, when you do that on your tournament, on the template I gave you, I think it just says tournament results or something on there. So you'll want to rename that for the tournament results that you're doing. So I'm going to call this Liberty North, even though it's Park Hill. That's what I was doing on that other sheet. I usually save it to my desktop. Click sheet. Oh shoot! See, it defaults down to whatever is the name of the tab. So again, I'm going to do that Liberty North. Okay, so I got the PDF. Now I just hit save. I'm going to go out to my desktop now. There's my PDF, and you can see it comes up real slick and it looks nice. And that's something, again, you can send to all the newspapers and everybody. And these are what I keep on file for my records as well. So if you have any further questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them. Again, I'm gonna post this along with the actual tournament template that I'm going to send you. If you ever accidentally just start doing your tournament template, it's something I'm going to keep, so I can always send you another one. Again, if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. So good luck and thanks.